What's going on, everybody? I'm coming at you with a different video. And today I wanted to highlight a television show that I absolutely love. Okay. I recently just finished watching The Wayans Brothers. Okay. I watched it on Max, okay, formerly known as HBO Max. And I guess you could say I wanted to do some soul searching. And this was a show that I watched a lot growing up. Okay. I didn't have cable television, I just had basic network antenna television. Okay. In the 90s and into the early 2000s. Okay. Um, there was a network back in the day called the WB, which I believe now today is the CW. Okay. And one of the perks today of watching a television show on streaming is you have the luxury and benefit of watching the show in order. Okay. So you can watch it from season 1, season 2, season 3. Well, back in my day, you would have to be at the mercy of whatever was playing at whatever time that was. And so I believe I started watching the show as it was ending when it was being produced. And then I definitely caught the reruns, okay? And just rewatching this show today just really brought back a lot of good memories, and I had a wonderful time. And I appreciate this show so much because you could not make this show today. You just could not. This show is so ballsy. It's so. It's just ballsy. It's ballsy in the humor, and it's just wonderful. I love it. Uh, yeah, it's definitely a show worth checking out. Um, this show is nowhere near in magnitude or as iconic as The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but for me, it's one of my personal favorite shows. Okay, and rewatching this show from beginning to end, especially having the filters today of working on film and television sets, uh, it just really broadened my awareness of set production and television production in general. So it's just great. I don't know where I heard this from, but this show was almost picked up by NBC Network, okay? And the network was very adamant about having Danny Glover to play Pops. But the Wayans brothers, they did not budge. They said either we get John Witherspoon as Pops or nothing. And then finally, the WB network, they complied, and that's what we see today. And it's just wonderful. It's so simple. It's brilliant for me. If you look at the sets are very basic. It's pretty much like three sets. You got Pop's Diner, you got the newsstand, and then you have their apartment, and then wherever else they're going for the day, which is very rare in between. So just want to highlight just some of my favorite episodes. My favorite episodes is one of my favorite episodes is when Marlon is running Pop's Diner, and Pop's Diner, it's like a regular diner, but Marlon wants to make it first class, and he has a friend that comes in to stop by, and Marlon just completely treats him like lower class. And there's a scene where his friend, he's this big, just big fat guy, and and he's like he can barely eat anything. And then like Marlon just treats him just so poorly. And then his friend like just looks at him on his way out and he goes, "Oh, you changed." So if you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. But that's one of my favorite episodes is when Marlon runs Pop's diner. Um, Another thing is another episode is when Pops, when you look back to who he was back in the day, and he was like a singer for a band called the Temtones, which is supposed to be like a spinoff of the Temptations. And they even made a song. I think it goes like, "What's that sound going through the night? Sound I hear when I'm holding you tight. It's my love, baby, you just rang. It's my love going bang, bang, bang." And then it goes like bang, and that's another like another soundbite that I love from this show is just Pops. Like every now and then he's always dropping the bang, 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 like bang, bang, bang. I love that. Fucking love that. Um, I love the other sound bites where you see Sean and he's always like, "Look up, stupid. Look up, stupid." Like he's just like calling Marlon stupid. And I mean, another thing I love too is every now and then you see like repetitive things that just kind of get dropped. Where you see Marlon, he'll just I think like there's like this is just an example, but this happens like very repetitively throughout the show. But um, D, who's the security officer at the newsstand, she would like make a comment and just say, "Oh, chivalry is dead," and then Marlon would take that, "Little chivalry is dead. Why?" And he just does this thing, and he just always like gets like ultra dramatic, and um, I just love that. I just love the contrast between Sean and Marlon. Sean's like the cool, like smooth talker, entrepreneur. Like he's just very like just very established as a man. And then you have Marlon, who's just super comedic, and he just doesn't always play the brightest bulb in the room. But to me, that's a genius. Like he just does that so well. And I think Marlon Wayans. I mean, after watching this show, I think he is one of the most talented actors, and you can see what he was trying to do in the show and showcasing his talent. Like, there's one scene where he shows how dramatic of an actor he can be, and he does a scene, like a very dramatic scene, like he's trying out. I think it's like for like a acting class or something like that, and you just see him really turn it on. Like, whoa, dude! Like, who is this guy? Is it the same guy? So he's just a really great actor, and I just think he's brilliant. And I would love to see Marlon Wayans today. Like I do think he's on the cusp of really catapulting into higher heights. Like I really think he could be big, like a superstar. Like I really think if he really wanted to, he could win an Academy Award for Best Actor. And something that you guys probably don't know is at one point he was cast as Robin in Tim Burton's Batman Returns. That guy was going to play Robin. Now, back then when I read about all this stuff like later, I was not with it. But today I could get behind something like that. I could, you know, we're in different times right now where that can happen. And when they were making the Flash movie and Michael Keaton was coming back as Batman, I even was tweeting about it. I'm like, dude, you should get Marlon Wayans to come back as Dick Grayson and have his Robin be with Michael Keaton's Batman so we could see what could have been. Okay? That was a missed opportunity. We probably won't miss that. But hey, at the end of the day, I know for a fact that Marlon Wayans is getting those residual checks from Batman Returns. So even though he wasn't in the movie, he is still getting paid for that. So that's super cool. Um, yeah, the show's great. It's very simple. It's so simple, and there's like a bunch of recurring characters that are very lovable as well. You got think it's like TC. You got TC, and then you got White Mike. I love White Mike. Um, yeah, he doesn't show up as often as TC or some of the other recurring characters, but it's just funny. It's simple, and I just think it's just all around just very great. You guys can watch it on Max. Okay, you guys can definitely check it out. Great show. I love it. Um, yeah, I just think it's just awesome. And yeah, another thing too is as you're watching the show, and again, I'm looking at it through different like lenses today. Like I'm looking at it through television production, and even like with the writing of the show and seeing the character development. Like I'm looking at, okay, this is season one, this is season two. So how do you carry the characters forward in the show? And I think the first four seasons are very solid. Season five gets a little. You can tell that it's kind of waning a little bit in terms of the magic that it had from the first four seasons. Still entertaining, but you can kind of tell that it wanes. But it's overall still a good show. And yeah, unfortunately, they did not get a proper series finale. And it's because of this show that really made me a fan of the Wayans brothers in general. Um, it really opened my mind to like watch movies like I'm Gonna Get You Sucko from Keenan Ivory Wayans, Blank Man with Damon Wayans, um, and just on and on and on. And yeah, it's just a good part of history and a awesome part of my life that I can look back on, and uh, it was just great. But yeah, I just really wanted to spotlight this show because this show is a part of me, and I'm committed to seeing Marlon Wayans perform on stand up. I know he does a lot of stand up, and I know people that know him, so I'm making my way to see him perform and maybe even meet him. So that would be pretty cool. But yeah, I'll end it on that. Great show. I think Marlon Wayans is fantastic. Got love for Sean. Um, I just really love Marlon Wayans. I just think he's brilliant. I think he's fantastic, and I would love to see him shine even more today. And I think he's literally on the cusp of becoming great, and I think he could win an Academy Award. That's how talented he is. That's how talented I think he is, 100%. But that's it, guys. Be sure to check it out, the Wayans Brothers. If you guys like this video, please like this video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Feel free to share. Thanks for watching and listening, and I will see you on the next one.